Hello everyone, my name is Naresh Jasotani and today we are exploring a paradigm shift in software engineering, that is the integration of anti-gravity and the Gemini enterprise developer ecosystem. This video we will examine how all this platform bridges consumer and enterprise needs together. Historically, developers have spent the majority of their time writing every line of the code, debugging them, and running repetitive tasks. Today, we are transitioning in an era where developers act more of a directors orchestrating intelligent, human intelligent, and multi-agentic systems. The anti-gravity and Gemini enterprise developer platforms facilitate this shift by providing an integrated, secure ecosystem. Here, AI agents handle routines, repetitive coding, and testing deployment tasks together. Let's move on to the tools overview. As you would see, we have a robust suite of tools designed to streamline your development process. I'll briefly walk you through each of these 5 tools that we're going to talk about here. First, we have Antigravity IDE. This is an agent-first workspace tailored for software development. Its primary advantage is that it allows developers to actively code in one view while keeping an eye on the background AI agents. This means you can manage your AI assistants without ever having to switch context or disrupt your flows. It is very similar to any other IDE like Visual Studio Code, JetBrains, and things like that. Let's talk about Antigravity CLI, our command line interface for the terminal. We designed this for speed and efficiency. It enables rapid execution of complex multi-step workflows that lets you automate routine tasks easily using custom slash commands. Then you have Gemini CLI, which is a command line interface, again, very similar to Antigravity CLI, but Gemini CLI is only available for Google Cloud Platform for Enterprise, and we are going to talk about this in a few minutes. Next, we offer Antigravity 2.0, which is a standalone desktop application. You can think of this as your mission control. It's built for continuous AI orchestration, giving you the ability to monitor parallel workflows in real time, schedule automated tasks across your projects. Finally, we have Anti-Gravity SDK for developers looking to customize their experience, the toolkit. Do not confuse this with Agent Development Kit SDK. Together, this ecosystem provides flexibility whether you prefer working in an IDE environment, the terminal, or just an app. To understand how these tools fit together, we must look at the anti-gravity ecosystem, which is divided into 2 different distinct pathways: the consumer pathway and the enterprise agent platform. On the left, you would see the consumer pathway provides a standalone suite of tools, including the anti-gravity. To really understand how these tools fit together, we must look at the anti-gravity ecosystem, which is divided into 2 distinct pathways: the consumer pathway on your left and the enterprise agent platform pathway on your right. The consumer pathway provides a standalone suite of tools, including Anti-Gravity IDE, CLI, Anti-Gravity 2.0, which is the UI, the mission control, and the SDK. These are excellent for individual developers and small-scale experimentation. On the right, we see the enterprise pathway, which integrates directly with Google Cloud Platform and the agent platform, formerly known as Vertex AI. In this enterprise-grade ecosystem, the Gemini CLI, which bundles Gemini Code Assist with Gemini Enterprise, works hand in hand with the Anti-Gravity CLI and Anti-Gravity 2.0. Crucially, the Anti-Gravity SDK can be accessed via agent platform as well. Let's drill down into architectural specifics of each tool within the ecosystem. This comparative table outlines their deployment pathways, the billing models, and the structural boundaries. First, Gemini CLI serves as the standard or enterprise entry point on GCP. It utilizes fixed seat-based billing, which is Gemini Code Assist license, which is now bundled as GE. Again, Gemini CLI serves as the entry point that utilizes a seat-based billing, which is using Gemini Code Assist, part of now the Gemini Enterprise bundle. Or you can also do an API pay-as-you-go token as well. Please note that it is not available. Gemini CLI is not available for individual developers. It's deprecated. Instead, you'd use Antigravity CLI. Next, Antigravity 2.0 and the Antigravity CLI both route through the agent platform, which is the Vertex AI. Both operate on a consumption-based billing model, meaning you are billed based on token consumption on the Google Cloud. Architecturally, Antigravity 2.0 transitions your local workspace into an isolated multi-folder project. The Antigravity CLI supports asynchronous background execution, replaces the older CLI, Gemini CLI, for individual use. Finally, let's pay close attention to the Antigravity IDE. Based on this table, it says unsupported on GCP pathway because IDEs typically index and process massive amount of local workspace files. However, using terminals in IDE, you can actually deploy, run, and make your local code available on GCP Enterprise using gcloud commands. More on that later in the video series that we are going to bring together on Agent Development Kit ADK. We will be using Antigravity. So please follow more on this channel. All right, let's take a look at this enterprise deployment viability matrix that simplifies your deployment decisions by mapping tools, capabilities to support structures. Our standout observation centers on asynchronous sub-agent capability. Both Antigravity 2.0 and the Antigravity CLI fully support asynchronous sub-agent operations. This capability of asynchronous sub-agent operations is super critical for complex, long-running agent workflows where multiple background tasks must execute in parallel without blocking developers' main terminal or interface. That is why you are running it in an asynchronous mode. In contrast, look at the highlighted row for IDE as we discussed earlier. It has no enterprise GCP support, runs on a fixed quota, completely lacks asynchronous sub-agent capabilities because it reinforces that while IDE is a great standalone consumer environment, it is not designed to drive parallel background enterprise agent operations. Similarly, the legacy Gemini CLI does support enterprise GCP, but it is deprecated on the consumer side. Therefore, for modern, highly parallel enterprise orchestration, Antigravity 2.0 and the Antigravity CLI represents optimal fully supported pathways.